Pivoting through grief with grace. For me, my story is one of a formidable mother, Randi Warren, who made it her life's mission to give me and my big brother Chris everything to include a toolbox filled with faith, good character, resilience, strength, resourcefulness, style, and yes, grace. And that toolbox helped me to reluctantly accept and grow through grief with the unexpected loss of my mother. Grief happens to all of us, forcing us to choose to either succumb to it or grow through it. If you choose growth, know the journey is not easy, but well worth it. Grief is another form of saying, I love you so much, and I miss you and your physical presence deeply. My story begins. So before becoming a ballerina, former beauty queen, lawyer at a Fortune 100 company, and entrepreneur, I am the daughter of a wonderful woman who cultivated my love for creative arts. When I was born, my mom sent out birth announcements stating that a star was born. It was through her constant encouragement, support, and her engagement in every aspect of my life that she held firm that a star was indeed born. At the age of 3, she enrolled me in dance classes where I was trained in classical ballet and jazz, and later on, I advanced to study pointe. My idol became Alvin Ailey. Through dance, I learned early on discipline, grace, and strength to push through pain from the rigorous practice schedule. I also learned the dance terminology of pivot, which is a general classification for dance turns where the dancer's body rotates about its vertical axis without traveling. Learning to pivot would be instrumental in my dance life, as well as my professional and emotional life. My mother's confidence in me and my skill level were the reasons I auditioned for the leading role of Clara in the Middle Georgia Nutcracker. Yes, I am very aware that an African American had never danced that role, but my mother said, audition anyway. After 2 days of auditioning at 8 hours a day in ballet shoes and in pointe shoes, I received the call around 9 p.m. Randi, you have been selected to be Clara in the Nutcracker. At 11 years old, I screamed with excitement, knowing that I had done what every little ballerina dreamed of doing, and that was being selected as the lead role of Clara in the Nutcracker. I knew that I had to show Middle Georgia that a little black girl could dance the role of Clara, originally cast as a German little girl. That was one moment that I saw the impact of little girls who looked like me and who were encouraged to see someone who looked like them. That experience led me to audition to very competitive summer dance camps at University of South Carolina and North Carolina School of the Arts. During each audition, my mother quietly waited hours as I executed every dance move while being judged by professionals. And when I was done, my mother comforted me in saying, "You got this," which is what I relied on until I received both acceptance letters. Although I was the only African American female in my dance classes, my mom confidently reminded me that I was meant to be there. I took that reminder throughout my life journey because I knew that every door that God allowed me to enter was because I was meant to be there. Full circle moment. I am now an adjunct dance instructor at Columbus State University's Youth Dance Conservatory, where I teach ballet students ages 9 through 12. I also dance the leading role of Mrs. Stahlbaum, Clara's mother in the Columbus Ballet's Masked Nutcracker. I started the Graceful Pivot last year, where I offer ballet to brown and black students and to adults who want to channel their inner ballerina. Owning my story. Remember, your story is not like anyone else's story. Faith is the driving momentum of my story. My mother made many sacrifices so that my brother and I could attend private Christian schools. Through my attendance in those schools and church, I was taught to be the light in dark places. This is so important because so many times people will try to dim your light to make their light shine. At Progressive Christian Academy, I attended pre-K to 8th grade. I focused on being the absolute best student. Although my studies were important, what made Progressive different from others was its Christian principles. At Progressive, I learned one of my favorite scriptures that became my foundation, and even today I rely on. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This scripture sustained me through my matriculation at Progressive, which my culminating event came when I gave my 8th grade valedictorian speech. That scripture sustained me throughout my matriculation at Mount DeSales Academy, where I was the only African American in my advanced placement classes. Even when I was applying to my mother's alma mater, Spelman College, my guidance counselor suggested that I should consider applying to other schools. I relied on that scripture because I knew that Spelman produced women who trailblazed every aspect of the world as change agents. I held firm to my decision and was accepted to the esteemed college. At Spelman, our motto was, our whole school for Christ. I met some of my best sister friends. I learned about the African diaspora. I excelled in my studies. I basked in the fact that I am an African American female who was equipped with the best education, who could excel at any task and overcome any obstacle. Spelman reinforced what my mom had already taught me. Spelman further equipped me to be able to walk out of her gates into my legal journey. I started as a file clerk at a mid-sized Atlanta firm. I studied for the LSAT while working full-time for the named partner. During my first year work, I was waitlisted at Howard and UGA law schools. I was devastated when I didn't get off the wait list that year. My partner asked me to stay on board as his legal assistant, and I began doing paralegal work. I learned the inner workings of a successful practice and knew that I could handle being a lawyer. I reapplied to law school and was accepted to several law schools, including being offered scholarships. I was leaning towards Howard, but my mother prodded me to come back home and attend Mercer so that she would cook for me and wash my clothes while I focused on studying. Well, of course, that was an easy decision. At Mercer, I found a close-knit community. Many of my classmates were legacies, and their grandparents and parents were judges or lawyers. Well, my family consisted of educators, a healthcare provider, and a naval officer, so I did not have the luxury to talk about the law with an attorney family member over dinner. Nevertheless, I had mentors, friends, and the Black Law Students Association that helped me to succeed at Mercer. After Mercer, I embarked on yet another journey, passing the rites of passage, the bar. Like many, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, and a host of others, I failed the bar my first time. I was mortified. How could this happen? I did everything right. Of course, my mother gave me that pep talk and told me to get back up, and that I did. I passed the second time and was hired as an associate at a mid-sized Atlanta law firm to work in the toxic tort practice group. After my second year of practice, I realized law firm life was not for me. The grueling billable hour requirement, the hectic travel schedule, and the demands of being a litigator were really just depressing. I stayed there for over 3.5 years and went on to another mid-sized Atlanta firm. Again, I found I was in another difficult environment without much guidance, support, sponsorship, or formal mentorship. Nevertheless, God sent angels in those environments in the form of senior associates and a female partner on the diversity committee who became my unofficial mentor. They helped me with research, brief writing, office politics, and were my champions. They provided encouragement when I felt like giving up and when I felt like I was not good enough. Lastly, my pivot. On February 2nd, 2018, my life changed forever. My mother and best friend, Linda Warren, passed away unexpectedly. My brother and I suffered a traumatic blow that resulted in tremendous grief as we navigated our new normal. We joined a club that no one ever contemplates joining and whose membership cannot be revoked. This was the hardest thing that I have ever experienced. So what did I do? I got quiet, unplugged from social media, and purposely began to reset. My mother equipped her children with a toolbox of faith, grace, resilience, and purpose. 9 months later, I pulled out all of my tools and pivoted to begin my healing. In life, a pivot is a purposeful shift with methodical moves that place you where you need to be at the right time. I left my position as an associate at a prominent law firm in Atlanta and moved to Columbus, Georgia, to begin my career as in-house counsel for a large corporation. This new journey was filled with trepidation, joy, and fulfillment as I entered into the supplemental insurance world with a company that values its customers and employees. I joined a new church home which satisfied and soothed my soul that yearned for connectedness. For the first time in many years, I reclaimed my ballet shoes as an adjunct faculty member at a youth dance conservatory. And lastly, I joined a tennis league. Even with this renewed peace, my grief still overtakes me at times. And when that happens, I go with my emotions. When I am quiet, I intuitively hear my mother, and she reminds me to be still and to stand in my authentic self. For me, my angel mother, faith, family, and friends remind me daily that I have so much to live for, and in spite of astronomical loss and a global pandemic, I continue to pivot through grief with grace. I leave with you some tips that help me grow through my grief. Give yourself grace. Everyone faces trauma and major setbacks. It is through these moments that you recognize you are doing the best you can. So be gracious and recognize the beauty of being human. Acceptance. Grief is no fun. Accept the pain you feel is a part of the birthing stage to your next level. You will always remember the pain because it is a part of your story. As you get stronger, you will learn how to cope and hopefully will share your experience as a testimony of overcoming to others. Meditate. Moments of stillness allow you to recalibrate and release. Finding these moments of quiet resolve gives you mental fortitude to manifest your destiny. Unplug from social media. Social media can be enjoyable as you journey in the lives that people choose to show you. However, reality is not picture perfect. At times, social media can invoke feelings of a romanticized lifestyle and popularity based on the number of followers and likes. Taking this time away allows undivided attention to yourself, and it protects your peace. Journal. Write through your pain. This is a good release and a constant reminder of how far you have come. Exercise. Take care of your temple. Working out gets your endorphins flowing and keeps you healthy. Remember to laugh. Laughter is really medicine as it heals the brokenhearted. Watch a funny movie, tell jokes, and share funny stories. Connect with family and friends. In this time of solitude, remain connected to your loved ones. As you might be all zoomed out, try writing a letter or sending a package of goodies to family and friends. Be thankful. In all you do, wake up each morning with a spirit of gratitude. In your pain, You still have so much for which to be thankful. Seek therapy. Professional help is beneficial in helping to identify coping skills. Also, having an unbiased listener with professional expertise to help you find acceptance, healing, and a push to the next level of your journey to happiness. Lastly, live your life. You have one life, so you dictate each next chapter of your life and live your life well. Thank you